Share screen. Yeah, you are able to see my screen, right? Okay. Now, guys, are you able to see my screen, right? Can someone confirm?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. I'm going to start today JSPs. Okay, before going to JSPs, what are the drawbacks of servlet that we'll discuss? Okay, so the purpose of servlets is to develop the web applications, right or not? To develop web applications, servlets came into the picture, and as part of servlets, we can write Java code as well as HTML code. Both we can write it. Okay, so that means that it will send the response back to the client by using HTML tags also. So, but it is very difficult to write JSP UI code. UI means HTML code. It is very difficult to write HTML code or UI code in the servlet. In servlet. So, to avoid that, JSPs came into the picture. Okay, when JSPs came into the picture means before came JSPs came into the picture, so it is very difficult to write UI code in the Java, right? So if any guy who knows only the HTML code, it is very difficult to learn Java to develop any web application. Okay, that time what Microsoft what Microsoft has released ASP.NET. That time Microsoft has released ASP.NET. So if ASP by using JS, if you want to develop any web application by using ASP.NET, then developers no need to learn Java. Only any scripting language, scripting means JavaScript. Any scripting language is enough to develop the web applications. Okay, that time Microsoft has released ASP.NET. So after that, it is very difficult for the Java developers. The means not Java, not only Java developers, the UI developers, HTML developers to learn Java, right? So in that case, Sun Microsystem has released JSP. Sun Microsystem has released JSP. So what is JSP means? Java Server Pages. Java Server Pages. If you are writing carefully, even we no need to write Java code inside JSPs. Okay, that's where it is becoming easy for others as well, for the HTML developers as to write UI code. Okay, it means through Java to develop the web application using Java also through JSP, it is becoming easy little bit compared to previous. Now, so and what is the till now we have saved our Java files by using dot Java, right or not? Right? Now, the JSPs are we need to save by using dot JSP. The extension is dot JSP for JSPs, not dot Java. Okay. So, and one more thing. So, what will happen when we are developing any JSP? How exactly the server is going to identify the request? All those things. So, how means exactly whenever we are hitting any JSP, whenever we are executing any JSP, internally the JSP container will convert all JSP code into Java code. We don't need to do that. Internally, the container will do that. Okay, that generated a servlet, it will convert one servlet internally. That will see generated servlet also soon. Okay, so but internal in UI we are developing as a JSP code, but internally whenever it is executing, the container will convert that into dot Java file and that servlet class. What is the name of the servlet class? All those things that we'll see through practically. Okay, now let's see that. Limitations of servlets. Servlets are very poor at controlling. Servlets are very poor at controlling web applications. Okay, but very good at controlling the web applications, but it is very poor in generating the UI. Generating UI means that whatever the content that we are sending to the client, to means to the web client, that is very poor, means very difficult. The meaning of that, very poor in generating the UI content. Okay, developers should know Java as well as HTML to develop the UI servlet, to develop the UI using servlets. Okay, if you want to develop any web application, compulsory you should know Java as well as HTML, both is required, right? So internally we are writing of Java code as well as HTML code to develop the web application. Okay, but parallel, and one more thing, so parallel development is not possible. So one person want to develop the presentation logic, other person want to develop the Java logic, means it is not possible. It is a combine, only we need to do that. Okay, that's where we are facing some difficulties. Okay, and when we change the servlet, okay, if you are modifying, let's say if you are modifying some code, then compulsory we need to recompile, rebuild the code, and then redeploy the application, then only the changes will reflect in the application. Until that it won't change it, right? But these problems we can avoid by using JSPs, by using Java server pages. We can avoid the problems of above three issues. Okay, now JSPs are used to develop web applications. Where exactly the JSP's role? JSP's role is for presentation logic. Okay, for presentation logic. Whatever the UI code, HTML code, whatever you are writing, that we can write inside JSPs, .JSPs. Okay, and JSPs are extension to the servlet. JSPs are extensions to the servlets. Okay, every JSP file will have an extension of .JSP. Till now we are saving our files by using .java class. Even at the time of our Java development also, will create our Java files inside SRC with Java class, right? Class only will create. But now for developing web applications for using JSPs, we need to add those JSPs in web content, and the files also, it is of JSP file, not class file. Okay, now apart from that, so who is responsible to execute the JSPs? Who is responsible to execute the servlets? Servlet container is responsible to execute the servlet files, right? .java files. The JSP container is responsible to execute JSP files. What exactly internally will happen when JSP is executing by the JSP container? Okay, now we'll see what exactly internally it will happen. That we'll see practically also. Okay, now JSP container, let's see. JSP container is responsible to hold the JSP files. Till now we have seen servlet container, right? Now to run the web applications by use, when we develop any JSPs, finally Java JSP compiler generates the servlet code internally. For that, whatever the JSP file that we have developed, for that the JSP compiler internally it will generate a Java class servlet code. Okay, we'll call that as a automatic generated servlet. Okay, now by using JSPs, we can separate out the business logic and presentation. What is business logic? Business logic means validating the user, getting connecting with the database, and then sending the response back, correct, proper response, the required response back to the client. Okay, these business validations we can do in the servlet. Okay, the presentation logic means UI logic, user interface. Okay, the login page, home page, all those things are presentation logic. For that, the JSPs are best suitable for that. Okay, now to develop servlets, programmer must have an idea of Java. Okay, a programmer who doesn't know Java cannot develop servlet applications, right? So in that case, to most of the HTML developers, it is very difficult to work with Java. So that time Microsoft has released a programming language called ASP, Active Server Pages, to develop the web applications. Okay, so to develop the web applications using ASP, the programmer must be aware of any scripting languages. Okay, Groovy script or JavaScript, any scripting language is enough rather than programming language. It is very difficult to learn programming language, right? than scripting language. So that time the JSPs came into the picture by Sun Microsystem. Okay, is it clear, guys? When why Sun Microsystems released JSP? The background for JSPs. Now we'll see actual things. Guys, is it clear? Why JSPs came into the picture?
So what is scripting language?
Scripting language means JavaScript is there, right? Even
Yeah.
HTML, JavaScript for let's say W3 schools. Scripting language is like a JavaScript, Groovy script. Some scripting languages are there. Those are very simple. Okay, it is simply based on HTML code. We can learn it. Let me show you. JavaScript, JavaScript. It is both combination of HTML, JavaScript. You can write easily. Okay. Now JavaScript elements. It is very easy to learn. Yeah, let's say you are entering of some button or something. Okay, it is of learning very easy compared to the Java. It is of similar to like HTML. Whatever the tag names that we are giving in the UI code, we can get that by using document.get element by ID. Okay, and then whatever the element that we are entering inside the text box, easily we can. Let's say for example, let me take up one code. Okay, now I have written HTML code inside JSP. Now inside JSP also what I have written? I have written as these all are HTML code only. Okay, but again for this text box, whatever you have given that I have written HTML code only, but I have saved with .jsp only. Okay, .jsp only. And if you want to do of any validations, simply we can by using this element name we can get the data by using JavaScript language. Let me. You are taking this. Add here. Okay. Now simple JavaScript. I will show you one form. Form example HTML form. JavaScript example, right? One second. So what I am doing here, I am giving one function. I am giving one form. For that, I am giving of one. Let's say one form is there. Okay, login form. For that, I am clicking on some button. Then, if you want to do any operation, then simply we can write up the function like this. No need to learn Java for this function name, and it is of where for all types of data types in the JavaScript. So and then if you're clicking on the press button, it will show like through in some alert messages like this. Okay, document.get element of demo one attribute. Okay, attribute. Now let's see if I'm clicking on this, it will show some pop-up here. Okay, all those validation we can do by using scripting language like this. If any other script is there, multiple scripting languages are there. Scripting language is very easy to learn compared to Java. Okay, if you want to develop any web applications by using ASP.NET, okay, then it is easy to develop. But by using Java, it is very difficult to develop any web applications before JSPs by using servlets. Adding HTML code inside servlet is very difficult and compulsory they should know Java code to develop the web application. That time the Sun Microsystem released the JSPs. Is it clear now? Learning
Yes, sir.
is different, learning Java is different. Okay. Now, so what will happen when you are requesting for any JSPs? When you are first time, when you are requesting for, when you are executing any JSP first time, what will happen? Okay. Now we will see. Now, pick up one paint. So let's say, for suppose I have developed one JSP. Okay, let's say from dot JSP. Okay, now this whenever this JSP is executing first time by the JSP container, what exactly how it will convert to Java means, first it will JSP compiler will be invoked on top of this JSP. First JSP compiler will invoke this, will invoke JSP compiler will invoke on .jsp. Once it is done, then it will convert that to .jsp. JSP compiler will convert to .jsp. Okay. First, it again the JSP name is like, how exactly the name of the JSP is. Now, welcome underscore underscore JSP dot Java file it will generate internally. Okay. On top of this Java file, the Java compiler will be invoked internally. Okay. Now let's see. This is .java file. So on .java file, Java compiler will be invoked. Means it will compile that code. Java compiler will be invoked. After that, it will generate a .java .class file for the JSPs. Let's see what is the .java .class file is. Welcome underscore JSP dot class. So, and this class will be instantiated by the servlet container. It will instantiate and it will initialize and it will execute of service method. Inside this JSP, there is JSP servlet lifecycle is different compared to servlet. So there init method, service method, destroy method. Here is like underscore JSP init method, underscore JSP service method, underscore JSP destroy methods. These methods will be, this code will be generated by the container. Now we will see practically that. Okay. Before that, we'll see practically anyhow. First, we'll read it. So, what will happen when we send a request to the server to execute a JSP for the first time? What will happen? Okay. Now, when you send a request to the JSP for the first time, the server will invoke JSP compiler on the JSP file. First, the JSP compiler will invoke that JSP file. Okay, it will generate a .java program. It will generate a .java program, JSP compiler. Okay, that will call it as a automatic generated servlet. Okay, on automatic generated servlet code, the Java compiler will be invoked. Okay, Java compiler will compile the code. It will generate a dot class file. On generated dot class file, the container or servlet container will create the object and then it will call init method. The init method name is underscore JSP init. Okay, underscore JSP init method, and actual service will be executed by underscore JSP service. Okay, the init method will be executed only once at the time of loading. The every time next time onwards, only service method will be executed in case of servlets. But in case of JSP, underscore JSP service method will be executed. Okay. Now we'll see through practically also. Now, who is responsible to develop a JSP compiler? Okay, like who is responsible to develop the servlet container? The server vendors. Even in this case also, server vendor is responsible to develop the JSP compiler, okay, or JSP engine. Okay, now so to develop servlets, compulsory we need of servlet-api.jar, right? Right or not? That is available inside our server. Wherever you are installed our Tomcat server, it is part of that. Now let's go inside Tomcat, go to lib. We have servlet-api.jar. In the same way, we have one more jar. See, JSP-api.jar. For executing JSPs, we need of JSP-api.jar is required. Okay. Who is responsible to develop that? The server vendors are responsible to develop JSP compiler. Okay. Now, JSP can contain HTML code as well as Java code both. Okay. Now, what is the life cycle of JSP? What is the life cycle of Servlet, guys? What is the methods are there?
Init
Init,
methods,
init
service,
service destroy.
display.
It service destroy. But in case of JSP, just add underscore JSP for the methods. Okay. JSP lifecycle methods are underscore JSP init, underscore JSP service, underscore JSP destroy. Okay. Every time only init and destroy will be called only once. Right or not? JSP init method will be at the time of loading. Okay. Select init method. In case of JSP also, underscore JSP init method will be executed only first time. Next time onwards, if you are hitting off again, only underscore JSP service will be executed, and underscore JSP destroy method will be called at the time of destroying the JSP from the server. Okay. What are the life cycle phases? Now we have seen life cycle methods, life cycle phases. Okay. Now, whenever any JSP is executing first, okay, this is one phase, right? Now, translation phase. What is that? Translation phase. Okay, now .jsp will convert into .java. Just assume that is first stage. Next, .java file will convert into compilation, right? It will generate .class file. After that, it will create the instance of that servlet. Okay, generated servlet. After that, initialization phase. After that, servicing phase. After that, destroying phase. We know of that four phases. Which one? Instantiation phase, initialization phase, servicing phase, and destroying phase. As part of servlet, we have seen these four. The extra two things are coming: translation phase and compilation phase. Translation means converting .java JSP to Java, and on top of Java class, we need to call JSP Java compiler to generate or to compile the code. It will generate .class file. These are the two extra phases coming in JSP. Now, now let's see. Now go to, I'm creating one project. Okay, next JSP2 Java. Okay. Now, simply I'm writing one. I have developed one project. Okay. Now, scripting. Yeah, JSP. Now, I'm not writing any Java code here. Okay, guys. Just I'm writing one JSP file. Okay, some simple JSP file. Some welcome dot something. Okay, welcome dot HTML dot JSP. Next, finish it. This some code is generated. Now I'm not writing anything. Just I'm writing some message. Just welcome to JSPs. Okay. So for this file, it internally it will generate. I told you it will convert many pages. It is generating one servlet, right? Now we'll see whether it is generating servlet or not. It will generate servlet once it is executed. Now let us run as this JSP, run on server, click on next, click on finish. restart it. Now the JSP is executed and it is displaying some message, right or not? Now let's go and see that whether the servlet is generated or not. Okay. Now the path for this is somewhere I copied. Go to our project folder wherever it is available. Yeah, I will show you. Yeah, this is my project. Okay, servlets. Go to JSP workspace. Inside that, go to metadata, go to plugins. Okay, inside that, go to WST server core. WST server core. Go to this one. Go to temp 0. Go to work. Go to Catalina. Go to localhost. Now inside that, whichever the project you have created, go here. Inside that, let's see that file. Yeah, see that. What is the name of the file which I have created? What is the name of the file, guys, which I have created here? Name of the file is
Welcome.jsp.
welcome.jsp. This is my, just simply I have written this one, right? I have not written any Java code. Now it is generated dot Java file and it is compiled and it is generated of dot class file also. Now let's see the code which you have written. Now what I have written inside this JSP here, only simply welcome to JSP, right? Now search for this inside this. Find it. Now see, it is of h3 tag, right? Right or not? Which I have written h3 tag, right? Now let's say suppose welcome to JSP in IBC, okay? Right or not? Now recompile it. Just recompile it. Where I have executed that. You can refresh it. I think I have closed that one maybe. Now let's see. I think here. 1 second, guys. It is in workspace only maybe. Somewhere let me rerun it. Now welcome to IBC. Welcome to JSP in IBC. Now it will reload it. See that? It is automatically, it is asking to reload. Now search it. See welcome to JSP in IBC. That means that, is it Java code or HTML code? Guys, see that? Public final class welcome underscore JSP. It is extending some JSP base, HTTP JSP base class. So it is Java code, right? Correct or not?
Yes.
This
Yes,
is
sir.
generated by JSP compiler. It will convert that JSP code into .java code. So actually I have written some HTML code in the servlet class. It is very difficult to write this code. So but in this case, the JSP compiler is all generating its code, generating to Java. Right or not? Now, now go to the phases. What is the phases of JSP lifecycle, guys? JSP lifecycle phases, not lifecycle method. What is the first phase? Translation phase. What it will do? It will convert JSP to .java. Okay? It will convert JSP to .java. What is the next phase? Compilation phase. Compilation phase, .java file it will compile and it will generate .class file. After that, now instantiation of the servlet class, generated class, and then initialization, servicing, and destroy. Okay. Now, is it clear, guys? How exactly it is going to convert to .java file? Okay, JSP to Java. Is it clear this part? Or any doubt in this one?
Clear.
Clear,
So
sir.
internally it is generating dot java file. Okay, this java file internally it will execute init method, service method, and destroy method. Okay, now as part of java, now let's first one, if we are writing, if we are writing any code, if you are writing any code, just it is normal code, right? It is not java code or nothing, just we are writing plain text. Is it correct or not? It is a simply plain text. Let's say remove even this tags also. So what I have written after generating code, after creating this file, I have written only this in welcome to JSP in IBC. Is it anything I have written? That means that it is simply plain text I have written, right or not? Just a plain text message, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We will call this as template text. We'll call in JSP this as template text. We're writing simply the normal message. Then we'll call it as a template text. Okay, how internally this one will be executed by, this one will be executed by, this one will be executed by, see, I didn't restarted server also, right or not? I didn't restarted. Now go and see here. It is, if it is a JSP file, if it is a java file means compulsory we need to recompile the code, right? One second guys. In case of servlets compulsory, we need to recompile and redeploy. Then only the changes will reflect in the application browser, right? But in case of JSP, so we don't need to recompile and redeploy. Just to refresh the page. Okay. Now if I want to add ABC Techno, now just refresh it. ABC Techno, and even JSP also automatically it will recreate it. Okay. Now, this we will call it as a template text. The first part is it contains plain text data in HTML or in XML tags anywhere. Okay. Now I have written that in HTML inside HTML, right? If you are adding inside HTML, then automatically it will go inside whatever the message that you are writing inside. This code will go inside underscore JSP service, underscore JSP service. Inside that, how exactly it will return out.println or out.write. Now let's read it. Let's check or reload it. See that? Now this time nothing is there, no tags before this. Now, so it is written out dot write, out dot write, where this code is there inside underscore JSP service. This line whatever you have written, it is moving to underscore JSP service. Whatever the code that we are, whatever the code that we are writing in HTML, by default now it is going to underscore JSP service method. Guys, one I have one more question. So whenever we are writing any code inside JSP service method, okay, in servlet, so compulsory always the service method will execute or not, right or not, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I'm writing like this, this code is going to underscore JSP service method. Every time whenever you are hitting, every time whenever you are executing of this page, compulsory always this code will go to underscore JSP method, underscore JSP service method. Only that method only it will execute. The other init method and destroy method will not call always. That is only first time only it will call. Okay, guys? At the time of first time generation it will call that, the next time onwards only underscore JSP service method will execute. Okay. now now the next part is JSP scripting tags. JSP scripting tags, what exactly the JSP scripting tags means? So There are some, if you want to write java code inside, if you want to write java code inside JSP, we need of JSP scripting tags. We need JSP scripting tags. What is, there are three types of scripting. Okay, one is scriptlet tag, the other one is declaration, and one more is expression. Okay, what is the difference between these three? Now we'll see what is the difference between all these three. Okay, what is scriptlet tag? Scriptlet tag is used to write java code inside JSP. All these tags are used to write java code, but what is the difference? Okay, what is the syntax of scriptlet tag? Okay, if you are writing any code, if you are writing any code within, if you are writing any code within less than percentage, okay, less than percentage, then at the time of closing also percentage and close bracket greater than, then it is will called as a scripting tag syntax. This is scripting tag. In between we can write java code, in between we can write java code. Let's say for example, inside, let's for time being simply string is equal to ibc. Compulsory scripting elements should end with semicolon. See guys, it is giving what, it is giving error. Why it is giving error, guys? Why it is giving error, I'm telling. So if you are creating one variable means compulsory it should end with semicolon, right, in java code, right or not? Now let's say I'm writing one class, okay, test abc test. Okay. So inside that I'm writing some, just as a main method, simple main method. So int a equal to 10. So why it is giving error, guys?
Semicolon is missing.
Yes. So compulsory Java statements should end with semicolon, right or not? So in the same way, in scriptlet, whatever the code we are writing, it should be end with semicolon. It is a Java code, right or not? Compulsory are getting one variable and it should end with semicolon. Okay. Now if you want to print this one, if you want to print this one, how can we print this one? So let's control that now. So if you want to print what is it now, if I want to print the a value, then I can do like this, right or not? Let me run as it is printing. Now, second, run a Java application simply. It is printed 10, right? Now if I want to print whatever the code I have written, I want to print now. So what is the statement I need to write, guys? Tell me. There may be some difference is there. I will tell you. Whatever you know, tell me. What I need to write? System.out.println, right? So yes. So yes. So dot out dot println. Okay. Now yes. End with semicolon. Right. Now if I'm running this one, let's move this. The comment signature is this one in the JSP, not like double slashes. Okay. Now let's run it. If I'm running this now, let's see. Are we getting anything? We'll see or not. Nothing is coming. Right or not? Nothing is coming. Where it is printed? IBC is printed somewhere. Where it is printed? In console. Right or not? Where it is printed? Is it printed in the browser? Now let's see here. If I'm writing the code here, whatever this is there, let's assume this is there. Okay. Now Just refresh it. Go to browser and now welcome to JSP in IBC Techno came. Right or not? From which one this line is executed and then that page came. Now where is system.out.println? That is going to console, system console it is going. I want to that this IBC to be print in browser. Okay, I want that IBC to be print in browser here. Then we need to write out.println, not in system data. Then it will go to the response object. Whatever you are writing, it will go into response object. Now let's see. After that, just give one break. Okay? One line. Just refresh it. Is it coming, guys? Guys, do you understood what is the difference between system.out.println and out.println? Out is the default implicit object. There are some 9 implicit objects are there. For that we no need to create object. Internally container will create and then it will make it ready for to use. Okay, now we will see that after the next chapter. Okay, now guys, did you observe that what is the difference between system.out.println and out.println?
Yes, sir.
System.out.println will print the data in console. Okay, but out.println will move this data to browser in the, that means that whatever the code that we are keeping out.println, it is of response object, it will go to the response object. Okay, http servlet request, http servlet response. To get the data from client means browser, where the data will be there in request object. To send some data back to the client, where we are keeping inside response object. This what out.println means. It will keep the data in response object. That is the reason it is going to client. Okay, now next. Now next I'm taking one example. Okay, let's stop it. Scripting elements. So what I'm doing is I've created one HTML code. I created one HTML code, no Java code, guys. Okay, now let's say I have created one HTML code. Whatever I have entered here, whatever I have entered here, I want to get up user. Let's say user name, user name. Okay, and next take one more user name, password. Now also password I'm entering. Okay, now what I want to do, whatever the data I have entered here, whatever the data I have entered here, let's go and finish it. So if I'm entered here something, okay, now I want to get this data in servlet. How to get the data, guys? How to get the data which I have entered here? What is the method? Request data get parameter. Yes, sir. Request dot get parameter. Through that, we can get the data whatever that is there in the username field, and password field also same. Get username dot of password field name which you have given in index dot page. These names are parameter names. Okay, by using these names, whatever the data that you have entered in the text boxes, we can get those values. Okay, after submitting this, I want to get these values in some other JSP. I don't want to go to servlet code. Okay, directly I don't want to go to servlet. I want to get these values in the some other JSP. Let's say I'm action, what I'm doing normally. Before, what is the action that we are giving? Some URL, right? Some welcome something simply, right? Then it will go to search for that servlet. Now my question, now my in this case is I want to execute of JSP. I want to move this, I want to get these details in the JSP instead of servlet. Okay, now go to JSP scripting tags. Now JSP dot user name, and one more, just write it password. Okay, pwd. Welcome username, name only. Okay, has been name plus pwd. Okay, password is that simply. Okay, now if I am running of this JSP, okay, I'm running this JSP. Now enter some IBC and password is some type. Now click on submit. Where it is there? So I didn't write any servlet code, but still whatever that is entered, welcome IBC and password is techno. So whatever the fields that I have entered the data in the fields that I am getting directly in the JSP. Now we'll go and see the JSP page, the generated servlet code. Now go to JSP scripting. It is generated one welcome. What is that? Index page not welcome data JSP. Go to JSP file, reload it. Go to underscore JSP service will execute multiple times, right? Go to JSP service method. Okay. Now go to inside that, you can see, you can observe that code. Whatever that we have written. See that whatever the code that I have written in the JSP, it is added under script in JSP service underscore JSP service. Is right or not, guys? Observed, guys? I've written
Yes,
only
sir.
3 lines of code, but JSP compiler internally the JSP compiler and Java compiler generate all this code, and then it is added as part of underscore JSP service method. Right or not? All this piece code. See that all this code is added as part of here. See that everything is added. Whatever that code I have written in the generated JSP, apart from what I have written, everything is added and in this generated servlet, right? Now, so compulsory, whatever the statement that you are writing in the scriptlet, it should end with a semicolon. It should end with a semicolon. The syntax is, what is the syntax, guys? Less than, percentage, opening, and percentage and greater than is the syntax for scriptlet. Is it clear? This one, first one, it is scriptlet, guys. Clear or not? JSP
Yes,
scriptlet.
sir.
Now, JSP expression. Now, JSP expression. Now, let's see what is JSP expression means. Now, declaration. Yeah. Now, let's take it off. One more example of simply this one. Okay. Why do you need to? Now, so why do you need to go to different places and go to welcome.jsp. So whatever that I have written here, right, I want to print this one. Okay, I want to print it instead of this is scripted code. If I am writing expressions, expression means same as scriptlet, add one equal to, add one equal to in the first. Okay, less than, percentage, equal to, less than, percentage, equal to the syntax, guys. Yeah. Now, so if I want to print, okay, the same values, if I'm writing here, it is going to out dot println, right? Now, if I want to give a simply variable name also here, if I'm giving simply variable names also here, password, these also will go by default, by default internally it will add as in the JSP out dot print ln of name. Okay, like that it will add it. Even though if you are writing pwd. Okay, now, so no, don't think about this. This is a comment, guys. Struggling with, then I'll leave it for this time being. Now go to go to this one. I didn't restarted index.jsp. Maybe I stopped the server. No. Now let's script it, right. Let's see. Close it. Close it. Go to welcome. Run as. Password is test. See that in this case also it is coming printed. Now go and refresh the loads here. Now it is removed this one. See, at the end it might be added those two parameters somewhere. See, so out.println of name. Even though if I am writing like this also, even though if I am writing like this, even if I am keeping out.println also, it is writing inside JSP under out.println. Even though if I am writing simply less than percentage equal to variable name and percentage and greater than, if I am giving like this also, it is a expression. We'll call it as a JSP expression. Whatever you are keeping inside the variable, we know it is a, like a variable. Just it will add in the out.println. Whatever you are adding in the expression, simply it will add this in the. Now it will add out.println of name. It will add directly whatever the variable name that we are giving here, directly in the underscore JSP. Whatever the code that we are writing in the scriptlet and expression, all this code will go to inside underscore JSP service method. Okay, see, simply whatever the name I am variable I have added here. Okay, the same variable, just simply it will add inside out.println. Okay, that means that you should understood now both scripted code and expression code, both is going inside underscore JSP service, underscore JSP service, right or not? Is it clear, guys, this one? So I have written this is scriptlet. So whatever the variables that is here, I am printing through expression. Okay, both code will go inside underscore JSP service. Is it clear, guys? The second JSP expression, guys, is it clear?
So,
Yeah, go ahead. Question? Guys, this is the syntax for unlike declaration tags. Declaration tags will come below. The expression tags produce the output to produce the output directly. Okay. Now, so whatever that we are adding inside that expressions, those will go out.println directly the variable names. Okay. Now the syntax is it should be like less than percentage equal to and end with percentage greater than. Okay, it is mainly to print the values of a variables. It is mainly to use to print the values of a variables. Okay, guys. Now JSP declaration. Okay, when we will use JSP declaration? JSP declaration means if you want to till now we are simply adding up one variable name and then getting the data. But I want to write my own my own methods and variables. Let's say for example, if I am adding int a equal to 10. Okay, where it is going and adding? Let's see. Let's go and run it. Now it is executed. Now it is reloaded. Now let's see, somewhere it will be, variable will be created. See that int a equal to 10 is created, where inside underscore JSP service method, this is created the variable. Now I want to create under class. In class I want to create in, this is the class, right? So under this class I want to create some variable and some methods. Okay, then in that case we need to use JSP declaration. Okay, JSP declaration. What is the syntax of JSP declaration? Is it is exactly same as scriptlet, apart from not tag. I have given some extra this one symbol. Okay, not. Now whatever the code inside that we are returning, then it will go inside class. Under class it will go. Okay, under class, let's say the same example I will take. See that I've taken one example of see, percentage less than percentage and one extra mark. Okay, now go to Windows preferences, font, go to basic. Yeah, I think it is better to clear, guys, now, right, compared to before. Sorry for that. Yeah, now what I have written, now I have written of less than percentage and not. Okay, the code which I have written inside this, this code will go out of underscore JSP service, out of underscore JSP, and within the class I have created one variable. Okay, let's say int age equal to 25. Okay, and here, okay, some value, just assume this is some value, this is some age. Okay, now two variables, one is static variable and is another one is non-static variable, and two methods, m1 method and one static method. This is non-static method and this is static method, and there is one more method I've created of add method int I comma int j, and this method I am calling in, this method I'm calling in scriptlet. Okay, scriptlet. We can't write method inside method. That is the reason I'm calling the add method inside service method, but I can't write this code inside here, because this whatever the code that we are writing inside scriptlet, it will go inside underscore service method. So the method inside method is not correct. It will throw error. Okay. Now let's run it. Okay, finish it. Now what is the sum value? Why only sum is coming? Now let's go to and check it. So I am printing only this one in the scriptlet, and I have added up to system.out.println. System.out.println will go to console. See, method m1 of JSP, static method m2 of JSP is executed. Where I called these methods? Inside scriptlet. Inside scriptlet. Now we'll go and see all this code is present in the generated servlet or not. Okay, where exactly the location also will verify. JSP declaration underscore Java. Now see, guys, under directly under class, so int I equal 25, int age equal 34, public void m1, public static void m2. Okay, and public int add of int I comma int j. Is it clear, guys? It is outside of service method, directly under class it is added. Guys, is it clear? This one, declaration.
Yes, sir.
And somewhere we are called these methods, right? Add method, m1 method and m2 method, right? Now let's search for that. Control F and search it. Somewhere, not here, come down, underscore JSP service will be executed. Now see that. So m1 method is executed, m2 method is called, and I'm calling off. Now where is that? I'm calling of see whatever the code that I have added in the scriptlet, it is added under underscore JSP service method, and some is executed and some is that is printed in the browser. That is printed where it is. Yeah, here that is printed in the browser. See, let's refresh it also. See, it is calling always. Guys, it is calling always, right? Every time if I'm calling, it is calling two methods, because I'm calling these methods inside underscore JSP service method, right or not? Let's say for suppose if I am commented these two lines of code, then it will not. Yes, it will not. Now let's go and refresh it. Now this code will not compile. Are you observing, guys? It's not printing. Even though I am executing, it is not printing. Right or not? See? Now let's go and try to add again. Now enable it. Then now see it. Observe it. Now it will call. See? Did you observe, guys? So that means that always whenever we are executing any JSP first other than first time, only underscore JSP service only will execute. Is it clear, guys? This part?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Only one person is giving response. So is it understood, or guys? If not,
Yes, sir.
let me know. I will repeat it again. Okay. Now the scripting tax is completed. Now we'll go to. So with all, I have given one example also. True. If you want, I will add this also. Nothing. This is the declaration section. It will go to under class. Okay. This is expression means it will go to underscore JSP service. This also scriptlet. This also will go to under scriptlet under underscore JSP service method. Already we have seen all these three in declaration dot JSP, where means this is of declaration part, this is of scriptlet. If you want of, then we can remove this, and if you want we can add some in expression. Okay, some in expression. Now go and check it. Why do you need to just refresh it? Okay, now only 30 will come. Remove some, right? Now the next part is what is the difference between JSP scriptlet and JSP declaration. Okay, the JSP scriptlet tag can only declare the variables, not methods, because the code whatever you are adding under scriptlet, it will go to underscore JSP service method. So method inside method is not possible. That is the reason it will allow only variables under scriptlet. Now, JSP declaration. JSP declaration tag can declare variables as well as methods, static variables as well as non-static variables, static methods as well as non-static methods. Everything we can declare inside declaration tag. Whatever the code that we are added inside declaration, it will go outside of underscore JSP service method and inside of class. Okay, is it clear, guys? That part. Now we are moving to implicit objects. Implicit object. What is implicit objects? What is meant by implicit? What is meant by explicit, guys? The words. Can you tell? At least what is meant by implicit and what is meant by explicit?
Implicit means automatically, sir.
No. Implicit
It's
means
already declared in the code.
yes. Implicit means automatic. Explicit means which we are doing, which we are created. We'll call it as a explicit. Okay. Implicit means automatically it is given by the compiler or container. We'll call them as a
The
implicit objects.
implicit means input, like sir.
Yes, correct. Inbuilt. You can consider as inbuilt. That's the best thing. Okay. Implicit or inbuilt. Let's assume implicit or inbuilt. Okay, implicit means the objects which are created by the container at the time of loading. Those are implicit objects. So, what are the name of the objects which are created by the container? Okay, so one is out. Okay, so where we are using out? So to print the values, right or not? Let's go on to declaration. If I want to print the value of, if I want to print the value of sum, what is the one? What is the what we need to write, guys? Out. Okay, out is one variable. One variable, implicit variable. Out dot of type JSP writer. That is of type JSP type writer. Let's say, for example, if I'm created, if I want to call this one, let's say, remove this. Okay. So why it is giving error? We can't directly call that one. Okay. Now main method. Now if I want to call this variable a, I want to print. What I need to do, guys? Tell me someone. If I want to print the value of a, what I need to write?
System.out.print. Yeah,
Okay. A. Let me try that. So is it printing? Right?
it's a non-static, I think so.
It is a non-static variable, right or not? So compulsory for non-static variables we need of object, right or not? For that what we need to do? We need to
Object
create,
fields.
yes, we need to
Object.
create a object and then we need to call that variable. Now t dot a. Now it will print, right? In the same way, in same way, 1 second. Now let's run as Java application. Now it is printing 10, right? Now in the same way, now this is the t object, right? Through t object, I am calling this a variable, right? In the same way, out is the out is the print writer object. Out is the print writer, or in case of servlet it is a print writer object. In case of JSP it is a JSP writer internally. JSP writer object. Now go and verify that. Go to underscore JSP service. It might be there somewhere. It might be there somewhere in the class. Now let's see. Out. Find it. Somewhere it should be. See that? It is of out one variable is there. Somewhere it should be initialized also. No. Let's see. See that? It is initialized page context dot get out. It is returning out object. Okay. Now this we have not written, right? It is given by container only is doing this code. I have not written, right? So this is one of the implicit object. Okay. JSP writer of type JSP writer. In the same way, request, response, session, application, page, page context, config, and exception. Now, what is the type of request? It is of HTTP servlet request. Okay, HTTP servlet request. HTTP servlet request. See that? HTTP servlet request, request object. Okay, and HTTP servlet response, response object. HTTP servlet response, response object. Right? Now session. It is of type HTTP session. Now go and see somewhere it may be there HTTP session. See that? HTTP session. Somewhere it might be initialized also with see page context dot get session. It will return the HTTP session object. In the same way for application config and one more is page context and some more things are exceptions. Some more also will be part of this. Where is what else? Config exception. 1 second, exception might be somewhere. Should be there somewhere. Somewhere it might be there. Exception, exception. somewhere exception also should be here. Implicit object. Exception. Let's go. Exception. Skip. E. Page exception of type T. Throwable. So it is of type some exception also this is there guys, but maybe internally it in the catch block it is there. See through like this it is going to show here maybe exception T is of instance of type skip page exception. There may be multiple types of exception. It can be anything. Okay, but it is not part of these variables. It is whenever the exception is coming that time only it will go part of catch block instances. Okay, not declared as part of that. Okay, now let's move out of this. These are the object implicit object. Directly we can use these objects without creating any object. We don't need to specify objects directly. Okay, now let's go on through practically we will see them. Okay, now just implicit objects. Now first we will see of request and response. Okay, now there are some methods is available inside request and response, but without creating object directly I am calling request dot get method and request dot user and request dot get remote address, get response dot get content type. All these are I am calling the methods. Let's see whether this will give response or not. Get user will give null because there is no user directly. We are not calling from anywhere else. Let's see, it should come. See that request method, request method, close others, request method. What is the first one? I'm doing of request method and user. There is no parameter, right? That is the reason it is giving of null. Okay, the third one is remote address. It is giving of remote address. And fourth one is response type, content type. It is giving of response data. Get content type means it will give text class HTML. This is of some existing data encoding format. Okay. Now the next one, request and session is done. Now so request and response is done. Now session. Okay. Now I've created one more object for session also. Okay. Now if I want to get by default session is true for every variable. Okay. Now session is one of the attributes. See, by default true is coming every time whenever JSP is executing, it will create one session. Okay. Now let's remove it and see the session information. See, it is created of session and default timeout is 1800 seconds. Default timeout is I have not set any value. Session timeout directly it is coming max inactive interval. Default it is of 1800 seconds. Is it clear, guys? Without creating object, I am trying to call the methods. Right or not? The meaning of this, without creating object I am calling the methods means that means this object is somewhere already available to this JSP. The meaning of that. Is it clear, guys? What am I explaining about the implicit objects?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now the next one is application and page and config. Now let's go. Application page. Yeah, application means so if you are setting any data, okay, then it is an entire application. For how many number of JSPs is there, for all it is available. If you want to set some data somewhere, okay, through that if you want to get the data, then we need to keep the data inside web.xml file and then see. Let's see. configured. Let's go. And I have configured some names or somewhere. Yeah, see that I have configured in the application in the context param. Whatever the data we are keeping inside context param, it will go inside a application. It will go inside a application object. It will go inside a application means for entire application this data is available through this username. We can get this value. Now let's go and see that what I am giving application dot get in parameter of username. Okay, and application data apart from this there are some other information is also there, so we can call off multiple methods whatever that is available for the page context, all methods are available for this. Okay, through this we can get the data. See, it is giving of IBC. Let's go and see username value is IBC. It is coming. Okay. Now the next one is JSP implicit object. What is the application name? Okay. Application name is see JSP implicit object. Okay. That's coming from here. Now next, if you want to get the specific data that is to the servlet, okay, then we need to configure inside config test. Inside config test. Now, what I have configured, I want to execute directly JSP instead of servlet. What is the servlet name associated for this JSP? That also I have configured in web.xml. Let's see. So there is some servlet name. Okay, so display name is servlet. Just leave it about servlet name. I have given testing config and JSP file. I want to do it before we are giving up servlet class name and we are giving fully qualified name of the class. Now I am giving slash JSP file and I am giving some parameter only for this JSP available. Only for this JSP these are available. Company name I have given as IBC Techno. Now go to config test. See, config dot get servlet name. Servlet name means what is the servlet name I have given here? Testing config, right? Now let's go and run this one. It is of see the logical name is testing config and init param value is IBC Techno. Correct or not? Whatever I have given here. See, come down. Not here. Where is that? Testing config and one more is it is execute and one more is company name is IBC Techno. Company name is IBC Techno is returning this value. Right or not? Now the next one. Page is it is not required, so this is mostly very lessly used object. Okay, if you want to get the data of currently executing servlet object, then we can use a page, then we can use page. Now let's say this means current object. Okay, see, in this case also it is giving testing servlet. Okay, testing config. So that means that it is pointing to current object, the meaning of that. This means, or page also same, both are same. Config is done. Page context. Page context means by using this object, we can get the object of all the implicit objects. Okay, so by using this object, even we are getting here also through page context only, we are getting all the objects. See that? Page context only we are getting all the objects. Okay, page context data get a servlet context, page context dot set get servlet config, page context data get session, get out, all these object to get the objects we need of page context. Okay, that is the main purpose of that. The next one is exception. Okay, the exception, this is of type throwable. This is of type throwable object. is of type throwable object, and if the code of the JSP throws any exception, then that exception will be encapsulated into this object. Okay, this implicit object is not available for all JSPs. This object will be available only whenever we are adding. Whenever we are adding. One second. Here we have is whenever we have one second, there is one page directive is true is error page. Whenever this is part of the JSP is error page is true, then only this is available. Okay, now reload it. Now this, where I have executed, let's go back. JSP implicit objects, right? Go to config.java. So that is compulsory, we need to add it to get off that exception object. See that here we got off exception. Okay, is it clear, guys? Before it is not there. So once you are added, then it will add that one. Now next one. These are some. So can we these whatever the implicit objects that we can use only in scriptlets, not in declaration. Okay, only in the scriptlet only we can use all these implicit objects. Okay, what is scriptlet? Scriptlet means this is the syntax, right? This is the syntax. Only within this only we can use all the implicit objects, not out of this. Is it clear, guys? That's what the implicit objects, the meaning all are. Okay, but we can't use those implicit objects out of scriptlet. Okay, can we use implicit objects in declaration? No. Can we use implicit objects in scriptlet and expression? Yes. Okay, because those code is added under JSP service method. Okay, guys.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is for today's class, and tomorrow I will give directives and actions and some JSTL is there. Okay, so that we'll discuss tomorrow, and if time is there, then we'll discuss MVC design pattern also, model view controller design pattern. After that, we'll see one project with servlets and JSP, one full-fledged project. Okay, guys, I'll share this document. Please go through the whatever that we have discussed in scripting tags, and tomorrow come we'll discuss the directives and action tags. Is it clear for today?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll share the document, guys. Please go through that. Okay.
సార్ ఆఫ్లైన్ ఎప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది సార్?
Sorry.
ఆఫ్లైన్ క్లాసెస్ ఎప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ అవుతాయి సార్?
Uh, are we coming to office now? Is it office is open now?
నో సార్.
No, even I am not sure when the office will open. Once office is open, then we can come to offline classes as well. Then I will come mostly.
ఓకే సార్.
Okay. Okay, guys. Yeah, thank you. That's for today's class.